Hey guys, it's Mark here, and today I'm bringing you yet another episode in the Life series. Now, I apologise for not having brought out any videos in the last couple of days or weeks, but that's mainly been down to the fact that I've been waiting on getting information from people like my sister, and I've just been having all-round difficulty with all sorts of things to be able to get these videos out to you. I do apologise, I can't apologise enough, because you guys are amazing. But yeah, this video in the Life series, I'm going to be talking about a serious subject, and that is depression and suicide. Now, I'm not going to be doing the usual thing where you would see the occasional picture or the occasional wording about here or about here with little numbering and stuff like that, because I feel like that's going to take away from the personal touch on this video, and this is the sort of serious style of video that you can't really have any scheme to it. You've just got to, I don't know, just talk. But yeah, anyway, so depression and suicide are both problems that can be linked with mental health. Mental health is a problem that granted, I have had a few problems with. I do occasionally suffer with depression, and I will admit I have had some dark times, but some of the facts that I have here, sorry about that, I will just show you my phone, yeah. Some of the facts that I have here that my sister has on her website, which I'm going to be putting as some of the only text in this video, just about there. That is going to be the website for my sister's mental health awareness site, where she is also petitioning to get the police more trained to be able to cope with mental health issues and stuff. Because in May 2010, I believe it was, she went into a police station with her friend who was has anxiety and has panic attacks, and when she weren't sure what to do and she asked one of the police officers, they ended up they contributed to it more than anything, because they were raising their voice, causing my sister's friend to get even worse, and they were the most unhelpful that they could be. And so yeah, she's trying to get a petition signed to get these police officers who are meant to be protecting us more trained and well adapted to the problems that they may come across. Now, some of the facts here that I've got a long list of facts, I don't know if you can see that, yeah. And some of these facts that I've managed to put down are things like, about 10% of children have a mental health problem at any one time. That might not seem like a lot, but that is 1 in 10 people. Now, in primary schools or in any school, you normally have about 30 kids per class. That means 3 in those 30 are likely to suffer with a mental health issue, whether it is depression, whether it is any of the more serious types of mental health issues. It is a worrying statistic when you think that these people are in our classes and they're not able to get the help that they need, because people might not be seeing it. They might think that they're not able to do anything to help it, so what's the point? But some of these things, they can be prevented. Some of these things, they can't be prevented. They can just be helped. But either way, just a little bit of your time is going to help immensely with people that have mental health issues. I myself have friends and stuff that help me with these issues that I have, and I will admit, without them I probably wouldn't be here today. But yeah, another fact that I have here, which is a worrying fact, is British men are 3 times as likely as British women to die by suicide. That is kind of worrying, because I think it also links in with another fact that I have here, which is women are more likely to have been treated for a mental health problem than men. And I think that is because women occasionally are more open about it, they're more willing to go to people and seek help about it, but men like me and like other people that I've known, they can have the I will admit it, we're just a bit bullheaded sometimes, and we can occasionally think that it shows weakness, but it doesn't. If you have any problems and you know that you have these problems, please, I beg you, please just go seek help about it. You're not alone. People are out there to help you. You are brilliant, you are beautiful, you can make something of your life. You just have to be able and be willing to go and seek out the help that you need to be able to cope with this sort of thing, because it is going to eat you up from the inside if you don't seek the help that is needed. It is treatable, and you can have a good standard of life. Just please, I beg of you, do not give in. There is no reason to give in. Now, the next fact that I have here is that 92% of the British public believe admitting to a mental illness would damage their career. That means that 92% of the British public, some may have mental health, some may not have mental health issues, but that means some people could be working with you and they could be concealing these sort of things, not like concealing them as they're a danger, but because they're not always a danger. They're just concealing it because they fear people treating them differently to others. They fear that they're going to be put in, let's just say, a metaphorical bubble that is going to be like saying this person has mental health issues, we've got to be very careful with them, we've got to treat them really differently, we can't trust them with this. That's not the case. The people with mental health issues, like myself and like others that I know of, we're able to be just as efficient and just as helpful and just as capable as anyone else. You just have to give us a chance, and trust me, we are going to be just as good as the next person. Now, this is going to be the next bit, which is going to be tough, a bit more towards the suicide thing. I have had, myself, I ended up having a friend in high school, and he was called Liam, and he had a lot of trouble. He was having a bit of difficulty, but it was one of those things where he didn't seem like he was having trouble. Now, unfortunately, I was off school ill at that time, and so I didn't see him days before he ended up doing it, but he couldn't take it anymore. It wasn't seen, no one could have known, but he hung himself, and it was something that could have been seen, and it could have been helped, but this just goes to prove you have to be willing to talk to people, please. And also, other than that, it's just, my sister has had a friend who ended up committing suicide, and it's some of these things, some can be seen, some can be helped, some cannot be seen, and some are just, they are usually the more difficult ones, because people can seem outwardly happy, they can seem like everything's going right for them, but you don't know what's going on with them. You don't know what's going on in their head, you don't know what is happening at home, you don't know anything about it. You could be seeing them and thinking that he is going to have just the best life, but he might, or she, sorry, I don't want to say anything like that, but he or she could end up having a lot of issues that you wouldn't be able to know of, and it can be difficult when you see this sort of thing, but don't be afraid to speak to the person about it. We're just like anybody else, and occasionally we end up needing just that little bit extra to help us out. But yeah, I guess let's just put this in a metaphor then. Depression is kind of like, it's kind of like a fog or a mist or something, and like fog or mist, it can pass by quite quickly, it can linger, it can be one of those things that one minute you'll be fine, and then the fog rolls in and just, it clouds your vision, it clouds your head, and you just can't really think, in the usual sort of way. You can't process things in the usual sort of way, and it can make you feel unmotivated, it can make you feel quite unloved, it can make you start to think, what's the point, what is there to go on for, what really is there for me to be able to live for. But and it can be difficult. I've had a couple of moments where I've had dark times, and I will admit I've probably hurt people, not physically, but I've probably hurt people mentally with some of the stuff I've done when I've been depressed, or when I've ended up getting to one of the darker times. And it's not a good feeling to have, to know that you're doing this sort of thing, and at the time you can't control it. Personally, when I end up having depression or this sort of thing, this fog, it can make me like two different types of people, two different people altogether. There's the normal side of me, which you're talking to now, and there is the alternate side of me, which the minute when I get depressed, I can just go into all of that sort of thing. I won't talk to people, my head will be down, and I just will try and keep away from people, because I will admit, when I'm like that, I do know what happens when I'm like that. I just can't always control it, and I will admit that occasionally I just try to not inflict myself on other people. Now, I know that's the opposite of everything I've been saying in this video, that we can do with help and that we shouldn't be afraid of showing it, but that's just for me to say to you, to prove to you, that even though I know these things we can occasionally require a little bit of a push and require a little bit of help, because it can be difficult and it can be just really awkward to talk to people, and when you're feeling like that, you can kind of just not want to do anything, to be honest. And yeah, there's also things that can cause it, things like bullying and stuff like that, which I've talked about in previous videos, and there's all sorts of things. There's, like in my class, they're at college, I wouldn't say they're bullying, they're complete assholes, and they occasionally say the odd thing, but I will also admit that I can get quite violent about it, because I will admit that I have in the past been sometimes thought, right, okay, I'll let them get away with it, but if they continue anymore, I'm just going to end up doing something I'm going to regret. Now, I know I shouldn't be thinking stuff like that, I should talk to someone, but I just I'm one of those people that tries to stay mellow, but if someone really irritates me or says something about my family, then I'm going to end up acting on it. I'm going to act out of anger, and it's not going to be the right sort of thing to do. But yeah, as I say, there's just all sorts of things that people need to be able to know. They need to be able to help the ones that are having these issues. This fog, it's uncontrollable sometimes. You can't end up doing things that you would normally do, and sometimes you can occasionally, it might sound weird, but you can occasionally accidentally steer into the fog without even knowing it. So, like, personally, I will admit, you get depressed, and occasionally you go, right, I'm feeling like this, and there ain't no getting me out of it, so I might as well just sit around, do nothing, and just listen to music or something. And it might sound really stupid, but occasionally you can listen to the wrong sort of music when you're like that. You can listen to all the sad music, all the really down, slow music, and that's not going to help you. That's just going to further it. That's going to just make you a bit more deeper into it. And that might, as I say, that might sound stupid, but it's simple little things like that that can be quite, I don't know, quite unhelpful, or quite, I don't know, I can't think of the word for it now, but anyway, that's generally all I can say on the topic. If you require any more information, I know I put this in the video earlier on, but if you require any more information on this, or you want to get involved in the petition to get the police in England, where I am at the minute, more medically trained to deal with people with mental health illnesses and issues, then please follow the link there. And please, just, I beg of you, remember, You're not alone. There are people out there that are wanting to help you. You just have to seek it out. It might be difficult, it might be tough, it might be really affecting you, but you have to know that there's always going to be someone out there that loves you and that's going to be willing and wanting to help you the whole way. Please, I beg you, seek out the help you need. Please. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. If you did find this video helped you in any way, please drop a like. Please share the video so that I can help many more people just like you, because I feel like this is a topic that needs to be spread around. People try and shy away from this topic. It needs to be addressed more. So if this video did help you, please share it, please let other people know. And I look forward to seeing you guys and hopefully helping you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see all you next time.